Hi there, I'm Coach Todd, head coach of No Limits and founder of Map the Triathlon. In this video, I want to talk to you about electronic shifting for triathletes. So what I've got here is I've got a bike here that's set up with Shimano Di2. I want to just kind of walk you through about how it can work for you if this is something you want to purchase. Okay, so what we have up front here are the aerobar extension shifters. We have just one button on the right hand side and one button on the left hand side. And over here on the brake shift levers, we have two buttons. We have a big button below and we have a little button up top. And this is on the left hand side. And on this side, on the top, we have a small button, and the bottom we have a big button. So right away you can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shifts we can do. And so now you're thinking about, okay, so how does this work? So what we're going to work on here first, what I'm going to show you first is the front derailleur. Now the front derailleur is shifted by using the left hand brake shift lever, and what I'm going to do is I push the big button on the bottom, and that's going to bring you to the front. Now you press the small button, that's going to drop it down to the small ring in the front. I'm going to shift up to the big ring, press the small button, down to the small ring. So if you want to change the front derailleur, you change it down here. So say if you're on the flats and you're going hard, you can adjust it to the front derailleur. Arrow position here, if you want to change the gear you're in, then you play around with one of these shifters. So the right shifter here is going to make it easier, and the left shifter is going to make it harder. Shift to a harder gear. And just by pressing it once, shift to a harder gear. And here again, to an easier gear by shifting it right. If you hold the button down, that will shift all the way to the end of the gears. Same thing with this button, you hold it down, and it will shift it all the way to the easiest gear. So again, now I'm in the big ring in the front. Now I want to change to a harder gear in the back. I'm going to use the left-hand shifter and just press it once and shifts it to a harder gear. But when I keep shifting to a harder gear, I just keep pressing the button. I can press it one at a time, or hold it down and go through all of the gears. Now if I find this is too hard of a gear, I want to shift an easier gear, I can just press down. So one of the cool features I like about this, especially for being in triathlon, say if you did want to get out of the saddle, you want to climb for a bit, you can stay in that gear and go up here to the handlebars. And if you do need to shift, you can shift right away because they're at your fingertips. So if you want to shift to a harder gear, take your right hand, press the big button, shifts to a harder gear. Small button on top, shifts to an easier gear. And over here, the left hand will take it to the small derailleur. Pushing the small button, or press the big button, take it to the big derailleur. So there's no more of this. You don't have to go, okay, I need to shift, I gotta stretch out. It can come very handy if you're in a really strong crosswind and you feel like you don't want to take your hands off the handlebar, or if you're going down the hill fast and you want to shift gears. It's hard sometimes to do this because you feel like you're not going to be very safe. So now you have that opportunity where you can shift by using these levers on the handlebars, which makes it super cool. There's also an auto trim feature of the front derailleur. So what that means is that the front derailleur will automatically adjust when you shift to the rear gears, just in case if they're going to rub. So you don't even have to think about that either. So let me show you how that works. So you can see that the front derailleur is automatically changing, so that if it thinks it's going to be rubbing, it adjusts so it doesn't shift, so it doesn't rub. So you can see I'm just changing the rear derailleur But the front derailleur is automatically adjusting so the chain is not going to rub on the front. And that's the feature known as auto trim, which is pretty cool. You can use the E2 project, which is an online program you can download, and that can allow you to customize your shifting. So if you don't like shifting to the big gear with your left arm or your left hand, you can switch it over to the right shift button. It's as simple as that. So that's a pretty cool feature as well with electronic shifting. And so if you feel like you want to change it out, maybe next week, you can just try it out and see which one you like. You can do that, which is pretty awesome. And again, this is it's electronic shifting, and it's battery powered. So the battery is located in the seat tube here. So the battery is located in the seat tube, and there's wires throughout so that it's connecting to the shifters. So this was just a quick review of the Shimano Di2 shifting, and it's definitely a sleek shifting system. I think it's going to be fun to play with. And the cool thing is that when you shift, it works. And remember to plug it in. So right, it's just like your phone. When it dies, you need to plug it in. So make sure that before you go out for a long ride, it's fully charged up, because you don't want to be out there when it runs out of batteries. You can still get home, but you wouldn't be able to shift throughout the gears. But again, it's like anything. You just take that time to plug it in and make sure it is charged up before your long rides or your long trips, and you should be good to go. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you guys have a wonderful training season. Thanks, and happy training.